He has always existed with his attributes, even before the creation of the world, which did not add anything to his attributes that were not already present. Just as he is eternal along with attributes, so he is everlasting along with them. This is a critical thing that we are going to dig, like last week when we spoke about necessary existing, unnecessary existing, the existing by himself or non-existing by himself, all of these. Now we are going to dig into one of these logicals. We have the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And so, to say without qualification that the attributes are other than the essence may suggest that they are separate from his essence. Similarly, to say that they are not other than the essence without qualifying that statement may suggest that they are the same as his essence, which cancels the attributes. So what are the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jalla? Are they part of his essence or other than his essence? This is the critical thing. So, when I say, for example, an attribute of a human being, is that attribute, give me an attribute of a human being. Kind. Is it external from the person or part of the person? Part of the person? That means that the essence has kindness in itself. Is this true? No, not everyone kind. So the mankind, is it outside? Yes, it's outside. So some people might have that attribute, some people might not have that attribute, separated from us. And we can have it, or we can not have it. But when we speak about the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's different. Why? Because we cannot imagine that the attributes are other than the essence. Why? Because that means that there is a separation. There is a sense of Allah Azza wa Jal, and then there is the attribute, which should not appear as if there are two things. No. But if we are saying that they are not other than the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal, that means that we cancel the attributes because they are his essence. Did you get this one? No. So I think we are going to dig into something for if one means by it that there is an essence existing by itself, separate from the attributes which are over and above it, then that is not correct. So if you think that there is the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal and the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal are separate than the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal, then that's not correct. That's two things. That's not one. If though it is used to mean that the attributes are over and above the essence, in the sense that we understand by the essence something that we do not understand by an attribute, then it is correct. Again, if though it is used to mean that the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal are over and above the essence, meaning that they are on top of the essence, in the sense that we understand by the essence, what's the meaning of essence? Something that we do not understand by an attribute, then it is correct. Did we understand? We have the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal, and we have the attributes. Can we imagine that the attributes are the essence? No. Can we imagine the attributes are separate from the essence? No. So what is the relationship? The attributes are not the essence, nor they are not the essence. So what are they? The attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal are not the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal, nor they are separated from the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal. Why we are thinking about that? Because our thinking, either we link things together or separate things together. We don't understand a state where it's not linked, it's not separated. We don't understand. The essence of Allah Azza wa Jal and His attributes are not separated, are not one. Because if we want to understand the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal as part of His essence, then we cancel the attributes. So the essence is there. If we want to understand the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal as separated, external from His essence, then we have two. We cannot understand that there are two. Do you understand? So they are not the essence, they are not separated.
They are linked, so they are not it, they are not the essence, and they are not like separate. So they link the essence. Not the same, right? Not the same.
Okay. Allah is one in His essence, is one in His names, is one in His attributes, is one in His acts. Saying, I don't know about the essence of Allah is knowledge. And that's mentioned in the verse of the Quran in Surah Al-Imran. In reality, the essence qualified by attributes of perfections. Okay? Essential to it is inseparable from them. Okay? So, the essence of Allah Azza wa Jal is qualified by the attributes of perfections, which are essential to it and is inseparable from them. It is only in the mind that the two are separated from each other, which are the essence and the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that the two are imagined to exist by themselves because of our mind limitation. We imagine that they are two separate and they can exist by themselves. In reality, there is no essence without an attribute. This is simply not possible. Okay? Some of them say that the attribute is neither one with the essence nor different from it. This statement is correct in one sense. The attribute is neither the essence, which it qualifies, and which the mind assumes to be without attributes. Can someone imagine Allah's essence without attributes? No. No, it is separate from the essence. Rather, the essence, along with the attributes that qualify it, are one thing, single and non-multiple. Okay? So they are one. The essence qualifies for the attributes, or the attributes qualifies the essence, and they are one, but the attributes are not the essence. Okay? Nor is it separated. Understand this point? We cannot say that the attributes are the essence. But As we say, the essence which it qualifies. So we have these attributes that qualify the essence. This fact lies behind various invocations of the Prophet ﷺ, such as, I seek the protection of Allah's glory and power from the evil that I'm facing or might face. What is that? Allah is seeking in what? Allah's power. Is this an attribute? Yes. So did the Prophet ﷺ in his dua separate the attribute from Allah Azza wa Jal? No. But does that mean that they are one? If we are saying that the essence is the attribute, then we are saying there is no attribute, because the essence already have all of these. So that's where it lies, the trick. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, I seek protection in Allah's perfect words from the evil of things He created. So what are the perfect words? So Allah Azza wa Jal's words are His attributes. So the Prophet ﷺ make dua in Allah's perfect words. So this is what we are talking about. The Prophet ﷺ never sought the protection of anything other than Allah. So he sought the protection in his attributes. Is it other than Allah? No. So we cannot think about the attributes separated from Allah. It is not permissible to believe that Allah acquired an attribute after He did not have it, because His attributes are attribute of perfection. Hence, their absence will imply imperfection. So, Imam Malik was asked about the verse. He then settled istawa, himself on the throne. How did he settle himself on the throne? A person asked Imam Malik. So the Imam Malik said, istiwa is known to us, but its modality, its how, it's not known. Because this is related to Allah Azza wa Jal's essence and attributes. Okay? So, when we speak about here, He always existed with attributes even before the creation of the world. And we are going to come to say that He's a creator even before He created. The attribute of creation is there. The one who is silent, not due to any obstacle to speak, is still called a speaker. If I'm silent, am I a speaker? Yes. Because I have the ability to speak. Okay? Because he has the ability to speak. That is, he may speak if and when he wishes. When he actually speaks, he is called a speaker in action. But he is a speaker, whether he speaks or he does not speak. In sum, concerning the question of whether events as a class are unending in the future as well as in the past, or in neither, or only in the future, or only in the past, there are three views among Muslim and non-Muslim thinkers. The most untenable view or untenable view is that it is impossible to be unending either in the future or in the past. So we are speaking about what here? We are speaking about the question of whether events as a class are unending in the future as well as in the past. Events, they are unending in the future or in the past, or in neither, or only in the future, or only in the past. So we have the views of the Muslims and non-Muslims thinkers about the events as a class. So the first view is that it is impossible to be unending either in the future or in the past in regards to any event, because it is contingent. Correct? This chair is an event. Can it be unending in the past? No. Can it be unending in the future? No. So it is impossible for a contingent event to be unending in the past or in the future. Okay? So each event, it is impossible for it to be unending. And when he spoke about Muslim and non-Muslim thinkers, because the philosophers started thinking about the events, like the Muslims thought about the events, whether they are ending or non-ending. The second view states that it can be unending only in the future and not in the past, those who saw the event. So they thought, okay, this might continue because they are not seeing its ending now. Thought, okay, it might be ending in the future. Okay? But the third view is that it can be unending in both the past and the future. Since action is an attribute of perfection in regards to Allah Azza wa Jal, its permanence will mean permanence of perfection. Now, if we speak about the actions of Allah Azza wa Jal as a class, or the events that Allah Azza wa Jal is creating, now we are speaking about actions of perfection, meaning that they are unending in the past, they are unending in the future. When we speak about the events that Allah created, these are different. These are ending in the past, ending in the future. His actions are unending in the past, unending in the future. Do you understand the difference between when we speak about His attributes and the events as a class? Regress is of three types: necessary, impossible, and possible. What is regress? The example of necessary regress is divine action in the future. Both reason and revelation affirm that whenever something in the use of the people of paradise ends, Allah will create another, and then a third, and so on, and infinitum. The same is true about Allah's action in the past, for every act of His is preceded by another act. You know what the meaning of regress? Going to the past. Okay? In regards to the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal, they have necessary regress. What do you mean by necessary regress? Yes. Before. So Allah attribute is creator. Okay? He created. Does that mean that He was creator when He started creating? No. Something before happened. Creation before happened. Creation. This is necessary regress to prove the eternal attribute. The eternity of the attribute. So that the attribute is eternal. As Him, Allah Azza wa Jalla. So this is necessary regress, like the existence of Allah Azza wa Jalla. If we say that there is a creator that created God, then that creator is worth of worship. We'll go back to a state where that creator was the first and there was nothing before him. Okay? And we will come to that as well. So necessary regress is that any of the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jal is preceded by the attribute itself. So it did not start at certain time to be eternal. Okay? We understand how people of paradise are living. Allah mentioned in the Quran, every time they will bring them fruits, they will say, we have this fruit before. And they are the same, but they are different in taste. Correct? This is what Allah Azza wa Jalla said in Surah Al-Baqarah. So what does that mean? The scholars said, whenever something is in the use of the people of paradise ends, Allah will create another and another and another. So it's an infinite. Okay? So meaning that it all goes to the infinity, and that's a continuous creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. For the attributes of Allah, the action of Allah Azza wa Jal, it has actions before and before and before. It was non-stop. Every action was preceded by another action. An example of possible regress is the things that Allah does, and this regress may be both in the past and in the future. What does that mean? Possible regress. What are the things that Allah does that have possible regress? Creating me. There is a possibility that there's someone before me. Possibility someone before me. There is possible regress. But this is not necessary regress. Because we will start from somewhere, which is Adam alayhi salam. This is a possible regress. And there is the impossible regress, which is the regress of the Creator himself. This is impossible. Because impossible to continue to forever. To have someone who created the God, who created that God. This is impossible regress. That's why it is one God who was not created. So we have necessary regress, possible regress, impossible regress. Necessary regress is the actions of Allah. Possible regress is His doings, like our creation. And the impossible regress is a creator other than Allah, before Allah. This is impossible. Because if you go there, you need to go even before. You get to go one before. One before. This is impossible regress. Because you are not going to reach another.